All right, so here we are in Canvas. I just wanted to illustrate, so we are going to be going through the process of just 3D printing. And so here we are on Canvas. First of all, you can download Makerbot Print through this link right here. So Makerbot Print download, you can go there. These are instructions that are going through the whole process with the project, and then the credentials for the Makerbot cloud are here. So this username and this password are what we need for it. So if we're in TinkerCAD and we have our model all set, the first thing you want to do is just check the dimensions of it. Looks pretty good. 110 by 110. I wouldn't go bigger for this project than 100 millimeters, just so it prints faster. Then what you'll do is go export STL, and it'll automatically name it some weird name like Super Snicket, and pop that into your file. So that is not, the STL is not what we upload to the cloud print. If you get that and send it, the TAs won't print it because it needs to be sliced first, okay? So if you log into cloud. What is it again? Let's see, cloud.makerbot.com. Hello, Google, help us. Okay, so this would be the normal sort of view that you would get, right? Like this is me, and I have credentials for the software. So I'm going to have to sign out of here in order to sign in with those other credentials that I used, right? So my recommendation is you can actually slice on the cloud, but the problem is you have to log out to log back in to send it. And I feel like that's a pain. It's a pain. So two things you could do. One is you could download Makerbot Print on your own computer through that link that I sent, or it's also advisable to do the slicing over in the lab, because then you know which printer is available and you can send it to, you can slice it for that individual printer, right? So if you go over there and all the sketch models are currently printing, then you can send it to the Replicator 5th generation, for example. There is two computers, well, actually there's 3 that you could jump onto in the makerspace and just open up Makerbot Print and work from there. So if you have a question about that, just ask the TA, or if you have it downloaded, you can do that as well. So what I'm going to do here, once I have Makerbot Print open, click on Add Model. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Before I do that, I'm going to decide which model I'm going to choose, which printer I'm going to choose. So click on the bottom left here, or the bottom right is the model that you're using. You can add an unconnected printer. And the models that we have are the Replicator Plus. Those are on the far right. They're the bigger models. We have the Sketch. Those are the smaller ones. And then we have the Replicator 5th generation that are on the left side. When you select a different printer, it's going to change the build platform. So that's why it's critical to slice for the individual printer that you're using. Once you do that, you don't hit export, you just click outside of here. Just note that you have the right printer on the bottom right before you bring in your model. So I'm going to grab my model, which is labeled something weird, and just go here, Super Snicket. Okay, we're going to open this up. It'll pop the model directly in the middle of the build plate, which is great. If you need to move it around, you can click it. Oh, it's not responding. It's always great when you're recording and then nothing happens. Isn't that fun? Okay. Well, at any rate, let's see if we can look at our print settings. And now we're frozen. Okay, no, we're not. All right, so with this printer, pretty much the only thing you're gonna really need to make sure that you have selected here in the print settings, balance mode is kind of what the default is. The infill density can be critical, right? So if you've got a really big print and you notice that this is like 20% infill or 15 or whatever, that's just the inside structure. So something that's flat like this, it's not going to be carrying any weight. 10% is perfectly fine. I could probably even bring it down to 5%. But then the other thing that you want to do is make sure that this support type, this model in particular does not need supports because everything is flat and there's nothing overhanging. If there was a model that was like a sphere, for example, you could imagine the outside of it, or a figure with an arm sticking out into space, that would need some bridging to connect it together. So if you have something like that, make sure that you click breakaway support on. Even if you click this on and you don't need it, it won't add them, right? So it's good to just, kind of click on this anyway. And then these are the custom settings. Again, the only thing that you want to note here would be the base layer. You just want to make sure that the raft is on, especially for the Replicator 5th generation and the Replicator Plus. So after that's all set, you can hit done. You can click that back to turn it off. And then this is the estimate, print, and preview mode. It's going to go through and slice and be really slow because I'm recording. And then effectively what that's doing is just building the layer by layer how the extruder is going to be adding filament to each individual layer for all the parts. Once this is done, then you can export it. And the file that you need to upload to the cloud is a .makerbot file. Okay, so again, it can't be a OBJ or a STL or anything like that. It has to be a .makerbot file. Oh, wow, it's really slow. Okay. This is what I'll edit out of the video, probably. Me just rambling. Okay, there we go. So it should give you a print preview, show you all the steps that will print, and it's ready to go. So now we can export it. This is where you'd want to save it to a drive or something like that. I'll just save it here. And it'll save, and then it's ready to go. So then what you do is go to your Makerbot cloud.makerbot.print. Again, reference canvas. It's too hard to figure out what this giant word is, so I'm just going to copy it because I would type it in wrong a bunch of times and get really frustrated. And same with the password. I'm just going to copy this and paste it in. I guess I could probably remember that one. Okay, sign in. This spinning thing is arbitrary. If you just simply click jobs, it will pop that up. So don't wait for that thing to spin. I don't know why. It's just a glitch. And here you're just going to choose your file and submit your model. So here we go. Submit the model. And then that's it. That's all you need to do. Okay. If the model doesn't print well, the TA may reach out and say, hey, this is too big to print, or it's too small to print, or whatever. Feel free to check it by me first if you like, or even ask a TA before you send it. You could definitely do that. But that's it. And then when the job is done, when the job is ready to be added, it will be added by the TAs, and then it'll be available in the cart to pick up.